Hi and welcome to ATR Miniatures. It's Tolkien Tuesday, so we're going to be continuing with the Battle Games in Middle-earth magazines. Today we're looking at issue 2. Right, let's see what issue 2 has in store for us. So this gaming pack is looking at the Second Age of Middle-earth. We're being introduced to character profiles and profiles for the warriors of Middle-earth. And then this issue's battle game is The Last Alliance. So based at the end of the Second Age, a small band of goblins are trying to break through the lines of the allied high elves and men. So in this gaming pack we got some new high elves and some men of Gondor. They'll be facing off against the goblins from the last issue that we had a look at. Right, we're into the battle. Let's get set up. So these are the painted elves and men of Gondor that I've got. These weren't painted by me, again they were part of the collection that I bought from a friend. But we have this elf here, whose sword is broken. So I did consider taking the sword off one of the unpainted ones that I've got and just adding it to this so I could quickly do it. But then I figured, why ruin another elf that I could paint up myself and aim for a better paint job than this. So I've got this one, which I only base coated black, and then you can see the very end of his sword on the hilt is broken off, so I'll take that from this, and then what I'll do is use this broken elf in a terrain build that I do eventually. He'll just be one of the slain warriors laying in the dirt. And the other thing is that I've only got 3 of the painted men of Gondor. So again, I've got this unpainted one, but what I'll do is get those 2 quickly painted, probably just following the magazine, and then we can jump straight into the battle. So I've done a very quick battle ready paint job on the Elven Warrior. And all I've done on the Man of Gondor really is paint the face. I did the sort of underpainting the same as what I did with the Aragorn figure last time. So I'll put him back on the battlefield ready to play. He can join the ranks of the Elven Warriors. Right, let's move the camera around and we'll go straight into the playthrough. So as I mentioned earlier, the battle scenario with this issue is The Last Alliance. It is played on a 3-foot by 3-foot gaming board. As I've mentioned in previous videos, the next time I visited my parents I would get my gaming mat. I'm actually currently there whilst filming this, so here we are. It's been in storage in the loft for a few years now, so as you can see it's very dusty. But we've got the Elven Warrior set up on the right there, Moria Goblins on the left. The idea of this is for the elves and the men of Gondor to completely wipe the goblins before they can escape across the other side of the board to call in reinforcements. And what I'll do, as soon as we start moving, I'll move the camera as well so we can get nice and close to all of the action. Right, let's get into it. So as with all of these, priority always goes to the good side to begin with. So I'll begin by moving them forward. So the elves and the men can move up to 6 inches. And again, there's still no penalty, so we can move and shoot. And as you can see on the back of the board here, I've got the simple ruins that is explained how to make in this issue of the magazine. I did a separate video for that, which I released on Saturday for the first issue of Scenery Saturday, so if you haven't already, go and check that out. Right, so I'm going to start by moving the Elven Bowmen and making sure that they have good visibility of the goblins. Right, then I'll move all the others. So that's the elves and the men moved up. So right, let's move the camera forward get closer to the action. Now I'll move the goblins. As I said, they can move 5 inches. So I'll do the same, start with the bowmen and make sure that they can target the elves. So I'll move this one this way so that he's not blocked by the dice tower. And again, I'll try to get you even closer to the action. So now we're on to shoot phase, starting with the elven bowmen, and they have a 24-inch range. So let me grab a tape measure and we'll see if they're close enough. Yep. Just if he wanted to shoot that way. So yep, we're in range. Right, the high elves are great bowmen. So we're looking for a 3+ to hit. Scoring 3 hits. So we've got the 2 bowmen here aiming this way, 2 bowmen there for the other 2 units up there. Now we're looking for a 5+ to wound. Getting 2 6s. So what I'll do is play tactically and take out the bowmen from the goblins here. And actually I'll just take out 2 from this unit so then they can start moving up this way to stop the goblins up there. Get rid of that spearman. Right, now still in the shoot phase. The goblins have a range of 18 inches. So they won't be shooting this time. And we are way outside of combat. So next turn, let's roll for priority. And then we'll go back to the movement. So the goblins getting priority on a 5. So we'll start with their movement phase. And we just advance through as quickly as we can. Because all they need to do in order to be successful in this scenario is get at least 1 goblin off of this side of the board. Let's move the elves. Right, and as the elven bowman is still in range, I'm going to leave them where they are. I'll move the men of Gondor up so that they can get into base-to-base contact. Same with the 2 elven bowmen there, I'll leave them where they are. Now that we've moved, most of the goblins are hidden behind the dice tower, so I'll just move the camera over for a better view for you. I'll put it here so you can see the dice roll still, but there is 1 goblin bowman hidden behind the dice tower there. Right, so goblins shoot first. They're within 18 inches now, and we've only got 3 left. So 3 dice. They're not as strong archers, so we're looking for a 5+ to hit. Getting 1 5. Looking for a 6 to wound. Oh, I saw it, but it's only a 3. No wounds. Right, onto the elves. Still with the 4 archers. Looking for a 3+ to hit. 2 4s. Looking for a 5+ to wound. Getting 1 6. So we'll continue as we have been. And we'll remove the goblin there. Try and get rid of that unit so we can concentrate the rest of the attack further up. Right, that's it. Back to priority. The Goblin's getting it again with a 5. So let's continue their movement up 5 inches. And again, we leave the Elven Bowmen where they are and just move the rest of them. So this Elven Warrior can actually come into base contact there. And the same with the Men of Gondor. That one just isn't close enough, so he's not. Both of these cancer looks like the remaining goblin from that first unit is going to be wiped out, but it is goblin priority. So all of these ones are just in base contact with one single figure. This one's in base contact with 2, so that's going to be a multiple combat. So let's start with the ones closest. So 1 goblin against 2 elves. The goblin wins it on a 5. So we push both of these back an inch. Right, so in this combat, both sides need a 5 to inflict a wound roll. So we're looking for a 5+. We get a 6. So that's 1 elf down and out of the game. Can that goblin make it all the way through past the bowman and survive? Right, now we'll just continue along from front to back. So goblin winning. Oh no, that one I said was just out of it, so we do for this one. Pushing him back an inch. Can he get the 5 to inflict the wound? No, he's only got a 4. Right, now this one. To draw, and in the case of draws, the side that has the model with the highest fighting value wins. So the Men of Gondor or Man of Gondor wins this one. So we'll be pushing that goblin back an inch. Now he's looking for a 5 to wound. Getting the 5. That's another goblin off the board. That's 4 goblins down now, 8 remaining. But we do only need 1 to survive and make it all the way across the board. Right, next combat. Man of Gondor gets it on the 5. Can he get a 5 again to wound? Oh, help if I actually get it in the dice tower. Only getting a 2. That goblin is pushed back. So 1 more to resolve just at the back there. Goblin getting it on a 6. Oh, only getting the 2, so no wound. Elf push back. Right, priority, if the goblins get it here, they can start to move around the elves and Men of Gondor and hopefully just get one of them off the board. Can they get priority? Yes, they can with a 4. Right, let's start moving them up. So we'll move him around him there. If I put him into base contact with both of those, that leaves that one free to run. The same with that one there. Then put that one in base contact. Move that one up and hope that these 2 can overpower that one. And at least now we've got some running free. Right, onto the shooting phase. So the goblins have 2 archers still, but that one's in base contact, so he won't be shooting. So only 1 archer free to shoot. Looking for a 5+ to hit. Only getting a 2. Right. Elves still have 4 bowmen in action. Getting 1/6. Looking for a 5+ to wound. Only getting a 1. Right, so the movement we'll do with the good is only this elven swordsman here. Base contact with him there to fight. Right, let's get these resolved. Starting here. The goblin getting it with a 3. Looking for a 5 to wound. Only getting a 3. Elf is once more pushed back an inch. So now 2 on 1. Goblin only getting a 5. Man of Gondor getting a 6. Can they take him out? Nope. 2 4s. They needed a 5 to wound. He's staying alive. Same again on the next one. Men of Gondor getting it with a 4. Again 5 to wound. Getting a 6. That's another goblin down. So now we've got it the opposite way. 2 goblins against 1 elf. Goblin's taking it with a 6. Wounding on a 5. 2 4s. And last again 1 on 1. Elves taking it on a 2. And only getting a 3, so no wound. Alright, priority again. Going to the good this time. So we'll start by moving that elf straight in there. And then what we'll do is turn that one away to catch that elf up, and the same with that one. These 2 are then free to move into there. That elf is going to try and take those 2 out. And this bowman's moving up here so he can try and catch this runner. So shoot. Now it hasn't mentioned in the ways at all, or firing into combat. Oh no, if you read it properly, it says for ease of play you may want to ignore models that are in the way of the shot, but the rules state that you cannot fire at a model engaged in close combat. So we won't be firing into combat. We'll only be using these 2 to aim for that one there. So hitting on a 3+, getting 1/3, wounding on a 5+, getting a 5. The goblin runner is out of action now. Right, let's resolve these combats then. Again, starting from the front. Elf winning it on a 6. Although he actually is pushing the goblin further towards where he wants to go. Wounding on a 5. Getting a 3. Goblin's still in it. 2 men of Gondor, 1 goblin. Men of Gondor winning it on a 6. 5s to wound. A 4 and a 2. So that goblin is pushed even closer as well. Same again, 2 men of Gondor, 1 goblin. Men of Gondor getting it with 2 4s. This time getting the 5. 1 more goblin out of action. This time they may be able to take out the elf though. Right, 2 goblins, 1 elf. Elf taking it on a 6. Only rolling a 3. Last combat, 1 goblin, 1 elf. Goblin taking it on a 4. Only getting a 1, so no wound. Right, can the goblins get priority this turn and help them make their escape? They can, they get a 6. My new scenery piece hasn't even come into action yet. I think it only made the elf move once to get around it. Right, movement. Let's move him straight forward, aiming between the 2 bows. And again, moving him 5, but they've got movement of 6, so they're still able to catch him, even though he was pushed forward an inch on the last go. Right, now what I'll do this time is put one of the goblins into combat and move the other one forward and leave him in combat and hope that the elves can't take him out with their bows. Right, time to move the elves so he can come back into base contact with him there. As I said, they're still close enough that they can. Now these 2 are close enough to outnumber him, but I'll get him to start chasing that goblin down just in case the bowmen don't take him down this turn. Right, so the only shooting again this time is the 2 elven bowmen at the back there. Looking for 3+ to hit. Getting a 6. 5+ to wound. Getting a 3, so again the goblin is safe. Right, into the combats. Starting with this one. Goblin winning it on a 5. 5 to wound. Getting a 6. So that elf is slain. He's 8 inches away, so 2 turns yet. Right, now onto this one. Can this goblin bowman survive? He's getting a 6, but the men of Gondor do as well. And as they've got the higher fight value, they win. But again, he's pushed an inch further towards the edge of the board. Looking for a 5 to wound. They get the 5. He's out. Unlucky for that one, so it looks like this one may be the last hope for the goblins. Right, now Man of Gondor and an elf first 1 goblin. They could get it on a 4. But no wound. Final combat. The elf gets it on a 4. Only rolling a 2, so no wound. Right, back to priority. Goblins really need this. And they get it on a 4. Let's start his final moves towards the edge of the board. And the same for this one if he can make a lucky break. And we just move these back in combat to keep the good side occupied. Right, so he's still out of range of combat. And so these ones, they're going to be relying on their bows to take this goblin down. Oh, I've just realised you can't even see the goblin now. There you are, he's just in there. Actually, what I'll do, this scenery isn't in use anymore. Let's move everything in closer. And again, there is a goblin up behind this bit here. Right, let's see what the elven bowmen can do. Can they stop the goblins escaping? There's 3+ to hit, they got a 6 and a 4. But can they wound? Looking for 5+ to wound. Getting a 3 and a 1. Goblins are luckily escaping the wounds from these bows so far. On to the fights. So 1 man of Gondor, 1 elf against 1 goblin. Could get it on a 6. And they wound him with a 5. Down to 3 goblins, but 1 very close to the edge. If goblins get priority now, he can make it off the board. Let's resolve this last fight and see what happens. 1 elf, 1 goblin. Elf taking it on a 5, needing a 5 to wound. Gets a 6. That goblin is off the board. Now down to 2 goblins, and it all rests on this priority roll. Can the goblins get priority? Yes, they can with a 5. He is off the board. The goblins are successful. So this plucky little goblin spearman has managed to break through the lines of the allied high elves and men, and as he escaped, he is able to return to the battlefield with reinforcements to attack the elves and men from the rear. So that's the end of the playthrough now. Somehow this goblin managed to make it out alive. Thanks for watching. If you've got any comments, leave them down below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.